Over the past year, we have been sharing wisdom from one of the world's great musicians, George Harrison. Our audience on TNH, you, have let us know that you are just as intrigued by George's words of wisdom as we are. So in this video, we've brought together our favorite ideas, interviews, and moments from George's legacy. We hope you enjoy.
Fame is a good thing in terms of giving you heightened experience or at least more experience, and but then it's what you do with that or what that uncovers. For me, fame is not the goal. Money, although money's nice to have, it can buy you a bit of freedom. You can go to the Bahamas when you want, but it's not the answer. And the answer, is how to get peace of mind and how to be happy. That's really what we're supposed to be here for. And the difficult thing is that we all go through our lives and through our days and we don't experience bliss. And, it's a very subtle thing. And to experience that and to be able to know how to do that is something you don't just stumble across. You've got to search for it. And it's beyond the mind. It's like, it's when there's no thought involved. It's a pretty tricky thing to try to get to that stage, because it means controlling the mind and being able to transcend the relative states of consciousness, waking, sleeping, dreaming, which is all we really know. But there is another state that goes beyond all that, and it's in that state that's where the bliss and the knowledge that's available is.
In 1968, George traveled to northern India alongside the Beatles, where they took part in transcendental meditation training with Maharishi Mahesh Yogi. This is a technique George kept with him for many years to come. Although George learned more than just meditation in India, this trip also helped craft his views on religion and spirituality.
I happened to get into meditation through music, really, Indian music. And I went to India to learn a bit of Indian music, and inside I always had a desire to know about yogis, and I can't explain that one. It's just something that's been in me from some time in the past. So I had the opportunity to find out about it in India, and consequently that led into meditation, because really the only reason to be living is to have complete, full knowledge, full bliss consciousness. Everything else is just mundane and secondary. I wanted to know some method of enlarging my own consciousness, and that's meditation. It's been there millions of years, and knock and the door will be opened. The thing that really got me interested was, after being brought up as a Catholic until I was about 13, I couldn't take it any longer because it was just full of hypocrisy. The teachings of an Indian called Vivekananda, which really impressed me. He said, if there's a God, we must see him. If there's a soul, we must perceive it. Otherwise, it's better not to believe. It's better to be an outspoken atheist than a hypocrite.
Not only did he learn a lot in India, but he also had profound spiritual experiences. When asked about astral projection, he relates back to experiences he had during meditation. His views on astral projection and death also seem to carry similar traits.
A strange experience when I was in Rishikesh. I went on a meditation course where the object was to meditate deeper and deeper and deeper for longer periods of time, to plug into the divine energy and to raise your state of consciousness and tune in to the subtler states of consciousness, and all those things like walking on the water and dematerializing your body at will are just sort of things that happen along the way. So it's hard to actually explain it, but it was just a feeling of just the consciousness traveling. Mm-hmm. I don't know where to, it wasn't up, down, left or right. No body there, but at the same time you don't feel as though you're missing anything. Mm-hmm. The consciousness is complete. How I see it is that the soul is in this body for a period of time, and then it leaves the body. It's like, in a way, the body is like a suit that you put on.
Do you have any idea where it goes?
Yeah. Christ said in the Bible about the three cages for the bird of paradise, which is the soul being the bird of paradise, and the three cages being the three bodies that house the soul. And there's they call it the causal body, and then around that's the astral body, and then there's the gross physical body. So death is really when the physical body falls off, but the soul's still in two other bodies, so it's then on the astral level.
George speaks of the reflection of our own consciousness having a direct impact on world issues. The more people are able to transcend into deeper levels of consciousness, the better off the world is as a whole.
You know, we get in government, or we get in any situation in life, we get the reflection of our own consciousness. We can't really complain about what we have because that is us. It's a reflection of our own being. Now, if we could have people who are actually conscious in a spiritual sense, then all the underlying problems to society, I mean, it wouldn't be able to change just overnight, but over a generation or two generations, you could have things where, for instance, say in England, and I'm sure it's the same here, you get disease. So you've got a lot of expenditure on hospitals and on fixing up people who have disease. Now, the problem is that most doctors, they study disease. They don't know about health. So you'd need to reprogram stuff so that you teach people about how to be healthy. That way, you don't spend so much money on disease. You'd be able to use that money for something else. So the natural law that operates on this planet or in the universe, everything, as I said earlier, everything works in a perfect order, and there's a scheme to things which has a certain intelligence that drives it and makes everything work. Now, if we as individuals could go to that level of consciousness where we can bring it into our being right from being children, teach people about their health, about their bodies, about consciousness, because it's all to do with consciousness, raise the level of consciousness, and then everything automatically becomes better.
People think this is me, and this isn't me, it's just a bag of bones. Basically, everybody is spirit, which is really what Christ was here to tell everybody about. The kingdom of heaven that lies within, which is the state of being, pure consciousness. Through many years of pollution of consciousness through material energy and this association, then we've all ended up in a fallen state. But really, everybody is basically potentially divine. So yoga, all these methods are really ancient methods just to stop further pollution of your system and consciousness and to cleanse the system. The whole thing of purity that they talk about in religion is really a mental, physical and spiritual purity, which is obtained through discipline and through practice.